Hello and welcome to Pantheon of the Geeks. You join us for a rather impromptu video. I was sat here and just thought I'm going to do a video. Some of you may recognise the models in front of you, some of you may not, which is what this video is about. And I'm sorry if you can hear my 3D printer in the background going off. It is currently printing like a maniac. So what is this? Well, this is Full Spectrum Dominance. Now it's a game that I've been printing models off for a little while, since the Wave 2 campaign, which is when I discovered it. Currently, if you're reading this anytime this has gone up, the Wave 3 campaign is still currently underway. And what we have here in front of us are the Wave 3 models, the two factions, which I shall show you in a moment. But I want to show you some of the Wave 2 models that are already painted, so you can get an idea for them. Just a quick view of what Full Spectrum Dominance is. So it's a small, this is meant to be 6mm. They may look a bit bigger because these guys are almost mech-like, but I shall show you some of the Union forces from the second wave. Now they're very small, so I don't know if the camera's going to pick them up. My painting skills at this level are even lower than normal, so these are my Union forces, and this is at 6mm. They are designed to be printed at higher magnification if you wish to. You could do 8 to 10. The creator says that 15 is sort of optimal as well. These are the same models at 15mm, the Union forces. I think these are actually the slightly different unit than that one I just showed you, but practically the same as far as scale goes. So that's 15mm, that's 6mm. And if you are interested, you can print them out 28mm. They're not supported, just for reference, by the creator. They're not meant to be printed out 28mm, but they ain't half bad actually. Bit chunky, bit cartoony, but perfectly serviceable as a 28mm model. So there we go. That's basically the same unit all the way up from that size, which is impressive. And just to show you another example from the Union Army as well. These are the Dust Riders. Dust Raiders. One of those is right. Little buggies. So that's at the 6mm. Putting up to 15mm. Looks really nice. There it is. And just for reference, yes, I did print a 28mm version of this, and that's what it looks like. And I really like that, to be fair. I know it's a bit chunky, but I still really like it. I could still happily use that in 28mm. That's the last of the 28mm ones I've got. I'm currently trying to print some more off, see how they go, but then this wave came along. But just as another example, here's one of the Union mini mechs, sort of like a dreadnought sized thing, at 6mm and at 15mm. They look awesome. And one of the smallest vehicles for the Union and in the game, a Tugger. And that is the 15mm version. Very cool. That does come off. You can see that there's a lot of detail in these models for the size that they are. It's quite impressive. So this is by the Lazy Forger. You can find these on my mini factory. Currently, third wave campaign's going on as well. So you can get these. You can get these models now before the campaign's ended, and some more will be coming along later. There are some buildings with this campaign which are currently what's printing off. I might be able to show you half of a building, but these are some of the older buildings I painted up. I don't know if they're from any of the particular campaigns, but they were on the store, so you can buy all these on the store. And those two are from the same set, the Flavia set, and this is one from the Shanty set. It's like a shanty town. And all the bases that I've got are from Warbases UK. I think they're quite reasonable for the price of the bases, so rather than using up resin to do it, I can keep the resin for the models. And it also means that when I don't know if other people have problems with the resin bases, mine always warp, can't help it. I've tried everything I can do, especially if they're this thin, they warp even easier. So I quite like these bases, I think they're a good compromise. But let's have a look at the current campaign models. Those were the Union ones I've been showing off, and they were from campaign 2. So just show you one more model from that range. This is the largest of the models for the Union, the Behemoth. There we are. Huge. I wouldn't like to try and print this off in 15mm, let alone 28mm. I really like this model. One of the reasons that I got it. I really like the Union models. So that's the Union. So we'll have a look at the current campaign. That's a show for some of the models. If you're wondering what the game actually is, it is an epic sized game, as we call it, or a small scale skirmish type game. These massive armies in front of you are nowhere near what you need to play the game. The whole game is designed to be played on a 2x3 board, so nearly as big as what you can see on the camera, to be fair. And it's meant to be played quickly and with small amount of models. But there are a lot of different types of models, and I like to have them all, so I can then swap between them. Of course, the beauty of 3D printing is you can always go and print more of a different one if you want to try something else. If you are buying these online, I do have some suggestions as well. So let's have a look at the reclaimers, which are these guys. So we have these little guys. So these are workers, trolls, for the reclaimers faction. And I think the main lore behind these guys is basically they worked in factory cities, the people, and they recovered AI cores from one of the other factions, a tech faction, which was back in Wave 1, which is where you can get those from, still on the website. And then they built these machines from them. All the armour on these machines is made from concrete. And then you got like mechanical stuff underneath. And this is one actually salvaging one of those tech models, because that's actually a tech one there. I can't remember the name of that one. It'll come to me eventually. But these guys are awesome looking. As you saw from the Union, people are about that big. So these guys are massive if they were in real life as well. So those are some of the workers. These are the welders models. And there are rules for all these at the moment. I think some of them are still being tested as well. Then we have some more troll models. So these are like your smaller models for the faction. And that's about I think those are like the smallest that are actually usable as combat. We have, even though these are smaller, I think these are the imps. No, these are the ifrits. I'm getting mixed up. And these ones are the imps. So the ifrits have these little guns, and all the imps seem to have these little satchels with MacGuffin in that they've been picking up. These, while the smallest models from this faction, are actually more like tokens and upgrades. So they run along behind the other models, and they sort of give them buffs, and then they can be removed as targets. So they act more like tokens, and there's quite a few different variants. I think there's 6 variants of each of these. Next up we have these are the Guardians. So they come equipped with a gun and a shield. Loving these guys, and these are like, obviously these are the 6mm versions. So again, people are that big compared to them. And these are like the size of like an old Space Marine. So you could use these in 28mm quite happily as some sort of robot. That'd be great. We have these Guardians. I think there's 3 different. No, there's 4 different versions of these. I tell a lie. There are 4 versions of those, and there's 6 versions of those trolls. I think I printed one of every version off, with a couple of exceptions. These are gunners. And if you sign up to the campaign, you can get not this gunner. I think it's this one. Looks like this one anyway. You can get this gunner for free as a sample model, and see if you like it printed off, painted up. I did that to try and paint up some colour schemes. I'm still not decided on the colour scheme myself, but I just wanted to print them all off when I had the chance. These guys are flamers. So these are definitely heavy weapon types. We have a couple here that are hitters, and I'm sure there's another variant of these. I've just not printed it off. I think that's one of the ones I didn't print off. I think I didn't print off one of the workers, Cyclops workers. So yeah, I forgot to mention these are called Cyclopses. This sort of style, and most of the army is made up of this style, these Cyclopses. And we also have these other trolls here, which are very cool. So basically mechs, snipers with ghillie suits made of all sorts of junk. These are great, I love them. There's currently 2 different versions, but by the end of the campaign there may well be other versions of them as well. I believe they are on one of the stretch goals. They may have already been unlocked. The biggest model from this faction currently is the Centaur. And that's a Centaur gunner. And that one's a Centaur flamer. Why they're not on a base? Because I've ordered some bases from war bases that are this size, because they will go on them quite nicely because I ran out of them. That's not a reason they're not on a base. So that's the reason why these guys aren't on bases either. So that's pretty much the faction as it stands. I do believe there are a couple of extra models. There are some worker, human-sized models, which also act as counters. I think they're called wardens in the game. They might be engineers specifically. They're going to be coming along as well, but I think there's not many more models for that faction at the moment. Over at this side we have the other faction from this campaign. These are the Corsairs. So this is more like your mech warrior guys. We have narwhals. They come with 3 different types of weapon. Now these aren't magnetisable. The next ones will be, but these ones are not magnetisable. They do come with separate weapons, so you can switch them around as to what you want. I think that's the other one, that's the windlass one. There's 5 variants of this. I could be wrong. I think there's 5 variants of that. And then we have the walruses. So these come with static weapons. You can't switch these ones around. But there are 3 different weapon variants and various different poses. And I think this is the striker. And if you sign up you can get a free one of these to test your paint schemes on as well. This one's particularly funny. It's not this version you get as a free one though. I think, oh, they're all downstairs unfortunately, but I've been testing out some paint schemes on that. And that's the 3rd variant as well. I think this one might be the Shredder. Don't hold me to that. These are all brand new to me as well, so I just wanted to show them off. These guys are porpoises. So the first of the bigger rigs, and the first rig that actually comes with magnetisable weapons. So let me show you this. So this is the porpoise sans a weapon. We have a receptacle here for putting a magnet in. It comes with that, and it's a 2x2mm magnet, which is one of these bad boys, which I got off Amazon, quite cheap. But if you know of a better place to get them from, if your local hobby shop's got them, I'd go and support them there. But if you can't find them anywhere else, you can get them off Amazon. There was $6.99 for 120 of them. And I'm going to have to go and get more, to be fair. There's enough for doing these models, but not for the buildings, because they're magnetised as well. So we have rocket pods, and we have the big gun, which is like a rail gun. That's awesome. And then we have that one there. It's kind of like the windlass type gun as well. And then we've got falchion guns, and I think these ones are blunderbusses that are on the belugas, which we'll get to now. These are belugas. These are the other big rigs. These guys come with 2 weapon slots. Again, easy enough to put together. They'll come with the receptacle to put on magnets. There's 3 versions of that one as well. I think I've got all 3 versions ready to go, and again they need bases, that's nice. So these are, just for reference, these are 50mm bases that these guys are fitting on. These guys are on 40mm bases, Everything else is on 32mm bases, apart from the smallest ones, which are 25mm bases, which the albatrosses here are also on. So these are like the mini drones that can accompany them. Apparently there will be another one called the Seagull, which will be slightly cheaper, not armed though, which will be available at some point during the campaign. And then we have the biggest guy here, which is the Orca. This guy's got 3 legs. He is pretty cool. There is a magnet actually in the waist of this guy. I don't know why I magnetised that. There was a magnet slot for it. It'll be easier to take it off and paint, that's for sure. But it's a bit unstable for my liking. Gluing it wouldn't make much difference. You don't need to do much with it. But it does have 4 magnetic wiping points on this thing. And this thing is one of the things that's still awaiting rules, but it is massive. And there are 2 variants of that, so I've printed off both variants. Just for completeness, and to have 2 massive monsters in the army. And there's a lot here. This is a massive army of them. You probably never field all this together, but it's good to have options as to what you want to field. I believe, looking at the points cost of these, in an average game you're probably going to get maybe 5 to 6. I've not done the full math on it. I think that might be a lot. 5 to 6 of these on a side, so this is a lot of models. You won't be using all these models in every game unless you have a massive game. You can upscale it. It's pretty upscalable. The rules are pretty simple. Simple in the way that you can learn them, and complex in the way that everything interacts. So it's got a good balance of rules. I really like them. But yeah, that's my sort of pitch for you to go and have a look at the campaign. I'm not affiliated with the designer in any way. I don't get anything for it. I just really like the game, and I'm really impressed by the models. The level of detail on these is immensely good. I mean, he's an amazing designer. I'm just going to say that. If you can get a close-up of any of these at any point, I don't know how good the camera really is. We're getting close-ups, it tends to blur on the little thing I'm looking at. But yeah, no, the level of detail is immense, especially on some of the Union ones where you got little riveting and little handrails and everything. Quite delicate as well. Very briefly, I don't think these are. I hope these are fully cured. These are parts of the building set. If you go all in, there are 2 factions and a set of buildings. This is only part of it, but they look like this, and it's like, oh, what's that? It's building. Yeah, but it's a modular building, so it has magnets that you can put on there, and you can basically build this up into a big sort of administration type building, shall we say. And I mean, because they're magnetised, you can build them as big as you want. There's various in-between parts and roof parts. I think these are all bottom parts I've printed off so far. I think I've got some of the next level up coming next. But yeah, they just basically will fit together into any shape that is square that you like, or a rectangle. I believe L sections are coming. I hope it does a cross section. I'd like one of those old cross section buildings you used to get in Space Marine. Well, this is going to be way bigger, but that would be cool. But yeah, you can obviously put as many floors on as you like, and then there's a roof, and there's some MacGuffin to go on the roof as well. Various air vents and air conditioning units that you can stick on the sides of buildings if you want. I intend to do these. They are classed as a ruined building. These will look a bit less ruined if you were wanting to be a bit less ruined, but they are ruined buildings, and you also get some that are just completely ruined. I wish I had some I could show you, but again, if you go and look on the website, you'll be able to see better, and they'll be painted. And I do like the way they're painted, where they've got like stuff growing on them, trees and greenery, a proper overgrown ruined city. That's what I'm going to go for as well, to be fair. But these look really good. Obviously I've not magnetised any of these. These are just fresh off the printer. Yes, thankfully it feels like it's cured. Don't want to be wiping uncured resin on my battle mat, but it won't be the first time I've done something stupid like that. But these are looking really good so far. I did have one fail because I was putting too much onto the build plates. I tried to print off 2 of these together. That's the only way I could get them on the build plate, and they failed in the middle. My fault, user error. I've not had any other fails on any of these models. They've been really good. A couple of breakages when I was taking off the struts, mainly on the legs of some of these guys, and some of the feet did break off as well, but again, I think that's user error, and easily glued back on. Didn't mean I had to wreck a model or anything. So I've had very little reprints on this run, and compared to some other projects, even the Wave 1 for the Full Spectrum Dominance, very little to reprint. But there we go. So if you want to see more of these guys on the channel and some battles, put it in the comments and I know you're interested. If you just want to go and have a look at the not Kickstarter, what is it on my mini factory? I'm not sure what the term is, but it's kind of like a Kickstarter. These are all the models that you get initially, so you can start printing straight away. And if you just want to have a look at a couple of the free models, I believe you can just get them by signing up. So go ahead and do that if you're interested. What I was going to say is, if you are buying these off any eBay sellers, these are great, shouldn't be a problem. These guys, make sure you get plenty of weapons with them, because you need more than just one set of weapons for either side. Because they're interchangeable, you want lots of options, so make sure that they print you off one set of weapons. Oh, and if you do pick this up early on, the legs for the porpoise and the beluga, looks like there's only left legs, but the whole point is you mirror them, and there's plenty of legs to switch between them, so you just need to mirror them. And the same with the weapons, you just need to mirror them to get the right ones, because they all look like the left weapons. Now I nearly made the same mistake going, oh, there's missing parts, but all you have to do is mirror them on Chitty Box. But if you are buying these off a seller, make sure they've done that, and make sure they've printed off you plenty of sets of these weapons, because what they should do if you're buying this off a seller is they should have cleaned out all the resin properly. Because I'm not a seller and a bit of a noob when it comes to 3D printing, I didn't really clean out some of these properly, and therefore the magnets didn't fit in, so a bit of water and resin is set within some of them. So that was just a case of taking a drill of 2mm and re-drilling out some of these holes. Pretty straightforward. And then I made plenty of room to put in the magnet. Unfortunately, some of the earlier ones that I did broke. So again, your seller on eBay, if they're legit, will have cured them properly, not like me. But if you're at home and you're doing it yourself, and you can print off as many as you like, and and there's still a bit watery in there or something, and the magnet's not going in, that's probably why. So just drill it out. If it breaks, print another one. I know, but that's one of the good reasons of having the STL file, is you can print off duplicates or variants for the weapons. So if you don't have the STL file, make sure you get plenty of weapons, and if you're not happy with them when you get them, send them back. That's my advice. That's what I said I was going to say at the beginning. And I imagine it's the same with these buildings, because there's a chance that I have drilled out that one, even though I thought I'd washed them both out exactly the same. One came out perfect and one came out with little bits in, which I've now drilled. That's just fluff that he's blowing out. So I can test these with magnets in now. So cool. So thanks for watching. Thanks for watching me ramble. Hope you've enjoyed it. And again, put in the comments if you want to see anything about Full Spectrum Dominance. Other than that, you guys take care, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.